Hello, my name is Matt, and I'm joined today by my good buddy Joe Rothenberg. And Joe is a very talented guy. Why don't you tell us about yourself, Joe?
I make games under the name of Cup of Joe Games. I make animation under Joe Rothenberg Animation, and I make comics under @JoeTatoChips on Instagram.
I met Joe when we did a class at Fallout Theater, Level 1 Improv. I was not very good. Joe was very, very good.
You are underselling yourself greatly.
Well, I appreciate that. We had an incredibly talented group of people, and they're all like not just talented on stage, but also just in their regular lives, just like Joe. And I didn't even realize what a powerhouse he is. I knew he was a great artist. Check him out if you need like a good birthday gift or Christmas gift, because he saved my bacon during Christmas. I got a really cool print for my lady. But also he does game design, and I think that's really special. You do a lot of cool things. But I really want to talk about Gumwad Island real quick. That was on Nickelodeon.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was great. It was actually one of my game projects that led me to the opportunity. So I was living in Burbank at the time, and I was like pitching around to different studios and like, you know, having really fun pitch meetings, but not getting anything. Mm-hmm. But then when I made Nerdy Workout, my first game that I uploaded on the App Store, it did pretty well. And Nickelodeon thought it was really funny because it's a game about being a guy trying to get reps working out while monsters are trying to eat your arms off.
Which is a lot of fun and also a terrifying experience all at once.
I try for that.
We aim for fun terror. It's the best kind of terror is fun. Yeah, and so that led you to Nickelodeon.
Yeah, they were like, let's do something. And originally, Gumwad Island, which was the short we ended up making, was going to be some kind of a multimedia project where it would have an animation component and an interactive component or some kind of game. Ultimately, that didn't work out, and we just made the short. Largely because I'm mostly an arcade game maker, and I think they were looking for something more open world, like that kids could play around in. And it was hard for me to think of anything other than fun terror, like really hard arcade games. So, yeah. But the short we ended up making was great. The experience of making it was great, and it was just like a really cool thing to get to do.
So there are 3 voice actors. John DiMaggio is one of them.
Yes.
The voice of Bender, Jake the Dog, and Adventure Time.
The audition process was like this jaw-dropping lineup of getting to see like some of my favorite voices from childhood coming in and reading for these parts for my short. And it was just crazy.
So cool, yeah. I can't even imagine what that would be like.
It was just like, it was like, I don't know, I felt like a little bug that was like getting to, this analogy is going to fall apart.
I like it already. Keep going.
I was a little bug who was getting to meet a bunch of great voice actors. How about that?
Come on, Water Melvin. You heard the librarian.
Hold it! You dropped your bucket.
Oh, that's not a bucket. It's a fez.
But he kind of like went through a few voices because he's played the sand monster librarian in Gumwad Island, and like he ended up with this great, you know, he has a really gravelly voice, and so that literally is what we wanted for a character made out of gravel, and he did just a fantastic job. But he like went through a few voices until he figured out like, okay, this is gonna be it. And then once he had it, one of the amazing things was like he was in it. Like the voice didn't shift.
You sound like the stereotypical John DiMaggio in this piece.
No, he is like a new voice for us, and that was so cool just to be there to this character that I had, you know, had been a major part of creating, like to see him suddenly have a voice, and it's the perfect voice. It's like they really come to life when you have the voice. Same with Oyster Maiden, same with Water Melvin. It's like when we had the voices, it was just like now we have the characters.
And you were part of that casting process, correct?
Yes.
So you
I got to push the button like and there were some people
it's like the voice.
It was, and I was not qualified to be there. And it was like there were some really hard choices. Like for example, someone who auditioned was Melissa Villasenor, I think is how she pronounced her name. And now she's on SNL, and I knew she was going places at the time. I think she was already doing stuff, but she was just so hilarious.
She's so good with voices too. She's fantastic with voices. So like getting to hear just these amazing, talented people reading lines that you helped develop. Oh my God. And then you're also, I know you're a lead animator. You ended up spending about 5 months animating this, correct?
Yes. I actually quit my teaching job at the time in order to do this, which Nickelodeon didn't want me to do. They were like, don't quit your day job.
They're like, these kindergartners need to learn how to spell, Joe. Come on.
I was ready to move on anyway. But
I was so sick of teaching these kindergartners how to spell.
That is not what I did. Shout out to Fart Gal, my friend Karen. That's her real name. That's like her.
Her parents named her Fart Gal.
Yeah, and her
biblical,
stage name
clearly.
is Karen.
So Joe was kind enough to bring me this very beautiful. He is an artist. This very beautiful piece of art. What did you name this piece, Joe?
Which one? The whole thing? This is
this
Matt's
right here.
glory package. Oh,
I named Matt's glory package a long time ago in high school. So I'm going to frame this. Oh, wait, are you alluding to...
the cardboard.
Oh,
yeah.
look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's stuff in it. It's
we have things.
not just an envelope.
Okay, let's crack open the piñata, shall we? Okay, so first things first. This is an amazing piece that I really like. It's Greetings from the Mushroom Kingdom. And what inspired this, Joe?
I was looking for a print idea that basically I was trying to think, what would I like? What would I buy? And I realized like I have a lot of Mario stuff on the wall, and then I also have a lot of travel posters up. And I thought, some place that I feel like I've been is like all the places in video games, right? Mm-hmm. So I started with that one. I'd like to do more, but yeah, just having a travel poster like commemorating your visit to the Mushroom Kingdom, I thought was really cool.
That is cool.
And I'm sure it's gonna go out of date in a few years when they do the theme park and they actually have like greetings from Nintendo World or whatever.
You're gonna get sued.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna sue them. You're gonna be like, I came up with
right.
this. I know you have a special place in your heart for this piece, which is really cool. Steamboat Mario. Tell me a little bit about that one.
That was my very first art print. I made it a couple of years ago for Waxacon in Waxahachie, Texas.
Yeah!
Woohoo! It was my very first convention, and that was the only thing I had to sell was 3 different sizes of the Steamboat Mario print. And that was enough. I made some sales. I made my table back and like had a really great first time. And so it's just like something I'll always remember. And it's still probably my best seller.
Yeah.
Both on the shop and in convention.
It's fantastic. This might be a stupid question, but how long did it take you to actually pin that whole thing?
I would say maybe 8 to 12 hours.
Wow, that's impressive, dude.
Because I mean, you kind of have to design the characters. That was really fun. It was like, how would Mario look if he were in this era, and how would Bowser look if he were Pete?
Yeah.
Mickey's like 90-something years old.
Did you like look at old pictures from the 1920s as like a reference?
Yeah, I looked at the screenshots from that short, and I mean, there's that iconic one which they now use as their logo for the animated shorts and stuff of Mickey. So, I watched the short, and then I checked to see if anyone had really done this, and no one really had, and so it looked like it was going to be a good opportunity, and it was just so much fun to try to recreate that style.
Oh, yeah.
But it gave me new appreciation for the animators like Iworks and all the people who worked on those old things, because the drawing is so good. Mm-hmm. Even though like by modern standards it looks old timey, like it's very well drawn, and so getting the lines to be as good as that or as close as I could get was part of the challenge and was kind of fun.
Especially in such an experimental sort of format where
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to get their bearings on all of it. Yeah,
they're making it up. Yeah, they're literally making up a new art form. Yeah.
Did you check out 1920s plumbers as any kind of reference?
I didn't go that deep. I should have.
Did they have wrenches back then? I don't
Mario
even know.
is a 1920s plumber.
You're right. So we've got these things that are called zines. Tell me about some zines here, Joe.
Yeah, well, I learned about zines from Staple Expo last year in November, and they had a little panel or a workshop on how to make your own zines, which are self-published little booklets that you can make. And it's basically just print it out at home and staple it and fold it together yourself, and they can be comics or writing or anything. And I just was so inspired by it, and I thought it was so cool that I wanted to start doing it. And so now I'm going to Lone Star Zine Fest March 1st.
Check it out.
I'm going to have a table there.
Mm-hmm.
My nephews are going to be with me there too, because I taught them the stuff I learned, and we made a bunch of zines together.
Cool. So it's like a family project.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's really fun. It's going to be fun to see like what it's like, and will people buy them. And
it's very DIY, which I appreciate. Like,
yes.
Because, I mean, I'm sure you stapled all these together, correct?
Oh, yeah. It takes a long time. Like
how much time goes into one?
Well, so there's making all the comics and stuff. That aside, like once it's ready to be printed, you print them all out, and each one takes, I guess, only like 4 or 5 minutes to fold up and then staple. But when you want to do like 30, 40 of them, it starts to add up. And like you have a lot of time to be like, what am I doing with my life?
How many are you bringing to Zine Fest?
My hope is that I'll have at least 3 different issues. So you have right now issue number 1 and issue number 2, and they each have 7 comics in them. That's as many as I could cram onto one sheet of paper. And I'm hoping to have a 3rd issue ready at least by Zine Fest.
I just realized that this is green.
Oh, that's cool.
Whoa! Get after it. Get after it. It's like Predator.
What's that famous painting of the guy with the like apple in front of his face?
Oh, I can't remember. You're the artist, Joe.
I don't know.
This is so cool. Okay, I just had to throw that out there.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I would love to hopefully get your 3rd issue at Zine Fest, because I believe I'll be going to Zine Fest. Mark your calendars, Zine Fest on the 1st, is that right?
On the 1st at Blue Genie Bazaar something or other here in Austin. If you look up Lone Star Zine Fest, you'll find it. And they're supposed to have like at least 70 exhibitors there, so there's going to be a lot on display. Yeah. I'm really excited.
I'm excited, man. The coolest thing is, like, I know you took the time to like draw this pennant, but aside from like printing it, like, yes, it's very cool, but like this has a totally different feel to it, because it's like, that's your staple, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird feeling. That's a really cool thing. Like, that's your staple. And
that's my crappy folding job.
No, it's really cool. Like, that's just like, I don't know. It's just, it means a little more that way. It's a really special thing.
Some of the appeal of it is like, it's very personal. I think a lot of zine stores, or whatever you want to call them, will leave some of their zines around town. I think that's a thing that people do just for people to find.
Really?
The Austin Library even has a zine section.
Cool.
Up on like the 3rd or 4th floor, you can go up and like just a bunch of zines.
The like the main library.
Yeah, the Central Library, the cool one.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, I actually need to go there. I think this weekend. I should probably check that out.
JOE Tato Chips. Yes, I also have a podcast I'm just getting off the ground, but please listen and send in your ideas for the podcast. It's called An Idiotic Podcast. It's
both of those things.
I'm hoping to have you on the podcast.
Dude, yes, please. Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, that would be great.
Wait, what are you saying?
To make it slightly less idiotic.
Okay.
But it is very idiotic. It's just like people send in stuff for me to do, and it's like things like someone asked me to gargle the national anthem, and I did that, and it's like, if anything I can do sitting in my desk chair into the mic, I will do.
Joe, thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.
You're a fantastic dude, amazing artist, and this is really special. Thank you so much.
Yeah.